Start recording, and happy new moon to everybody. I know this is a totally out of left field time for both groups to gather, but so when I say both groups, there's two goddess courses that I'm running. One is about 11 lunar cycles into the whole year, and one is about 3. And so one of the things that came through about this new moon that I felt was so perfect was the boundaries are coming down everywhere. And I thought it would be really neat for us to sort of combine energies, because it's all of us are with the same intention. So we'll see who ends up gathering, and as with everything, this is going to be recorded, and a lot of people do end up watching it on YouTube later. But I wanted to just kind of kick it off by having us maybe consider what a really special new moon this is. I mentioned it in the podcast, but I just want to kind of say, 2020 has been a little bit of an interesting ride, and that's really signaling all of the transformation that's going to be able to, it's potentiated within us. It's all, the chaos in the world is showing the potential for change. So we have this is a super new moon happening today. And then we have the next moon is a super new moon. The next moon is a super new moon. And then the fourth new moon after that is going to be a total solar eclipse. And that's going to be in December, and that's going to kind of close 2020. So super new moons are, new moons are seeding times. Super new moons are like exclamation point. It's just because the moon is so close to the earth. Energies are much more potent. So we have 3 extra potent new moons, and this one's in Virgo. Virgo is typically a very practical, detail-oriented sign. And I see this one as really inviting us to, I talk a lot about why are we really here, and the energy that we offer all the time, that we are vibrational beings. So Virgo's really got this ability to support us in being really, really, really hyper vigilant, not hyper vigilant, but vigilant about our energy. So that's what's on the table for us. And the other thing that I really wanted to share is, we're going to get the opportunity to consider what we want to let go of and what we want to seed for this particular cycle and for the rest of 2020 as well. When we consider why we're here, one of the ways I think we've been conditioned is it's sort of like, are you going to be a lawyer? Are you going to be a doctor? Are you going to be an energy healer? Are you going to be a herbalist? And I think somewhere in our mind, we kind of think we've been trained that I'm going to have to switch my career to get into my real life path career if I'm really, if I'm only a school teacher or something like that. And that might be true, but it doesn't have to be true. And that's kind of part of the boundaries coming down. It's the boundaries around everything, and that's the boundaries around the society that we've built. So one of the things I want us to consider is, as we kind of continue to step on our true soul's purpose, our life's path, all of 2020 has kind of been really helping us get off the old path and get on the new path. And even if we can't, what's happening right now is we can't see the new path. We just know that the old path isn't there anymore. And so that can also feel a little bit jostling inside. But when we consider, what's the new path? Where am I gonna be? What am I supposed to be doing? The vibrational aspect is really what's key for us to, that's something we can fully get our minds wrapped around. And there's plenty of practice for us to consider how we vibrate. And I want to offer that as we continue to level up or continue to lighten up, that's going to be how we continue to stay on our life's path and get even closer to where our soul really wants us to go. And we don't need to know the end story yet. It kind of reminded me a little bit of, like, I don't know if anybody was ever in college and somebody said, what are you going to do after you graduate? And if you remember, you kind of look around and like, oh man, I got to figure that out right now. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I want to be a blah or a blah. And so that's kind of where we don't have to have the final answer. Or maybe we knew what our next step might be, but we don't have to have the final answer. And so that's kind of a really cool opportunity for us to unpack a little bit. And as we consider, we'll do a little practice in a moment, as we consider what we want to unpack, what we want to release. That might be a little bit of the stuff that we can think about letting go of, the shoulds. And they don't have to be, formal shoulds, just the way that we think the world. Oops, my dog just did a happy shake, so my computer, sorry, got a little unstable. So I talked in the podcast about Black Moon Lilith being present, and I want to touch on that really quickly as well, because there's a couple goddesses that are around. I always love the goddesses. So Black Moon Lilith really came on the scene in January, and she was gonna be here with us through December. So that's kind of perfect, because we've had this whole year. And I mentioned that total eclipse in December is kind of going to be when she's going to be able to join us, or not her join her, where she's going to be able to have taught us her lessons. And Black Moon Lilith is, I talked about in the podcast how, she's got all this crazy, demon, scary, wanton sexuality, female. And whenever we see those stories of, even around like the number 13, which is a scary number, that's actually signals us it's actually a very potent, powerful number. And Lilith, who's got all this shame and guilt and gunk around her, is actually, what I offered in the podcast is, she's kind of a primordial being. So she's black, and she helps us get away from black versus white, good versus bad. Am I on the right soul path, as I was just mentioning, or am I on the wrong one? And how do I get to where I want to be? All this, one or either or thinking. She's kind of pointing us to the primordial essence of where everything comes from. And that's the type of creation that we're going to get to remember that is possible for each of us, as we consider that remember that we're all vibrational beings with this new moon. And remember that, maybe the best thing I can do today is vibrate in keep myself light, keep myself joyful, keep myself happy, so that whoever I talk to on the phone is going to get a little bit of that light. If that's my service for what my soul's journey is for right now, there's enough personal work in that. So Lilith is kind of helping us to see beyond the veil of this sort of, it almost feels like, the whole world that we know is real is almost like a play of puppets on a stage or something like that. And that's what we think is real. And it's not that it's not real, but there's so much more magic. And so Lilith has got this magic aspect of her, about her. And that's really also, she's here all 2020 to help us sort of get off the wagon that's, everyone's believing what they see, and then they just reiterate that. And then we all keep doing the same thing for another 100 lifetimes. We really get into shift this lifetime. So that's Lilith. And I also wanted to, I want to bring back, I'm going to share my screen. I've talked about this goddess a fair amount. Give me one second to see if I can remember how to share screen. Oh, there we go. Okay. So this is Kali. Talked a lot about Kali, and another black goddess, or goddess that we associate with the color black, and that many people think is crazy and scary. And also the color black means evil or something like that. So if we check out this goddess, Kali is standing on her husband, and And one of the stories goes that she was this goddess who was really super beautiful. Her husband ended up doing this to protect his prosperity, protect the land, and protect his country. He would sacrifice a baby every year. And she got really upset by this. So she ended up sacrificing one of her own kids, and then her husband got really mad. And but the whole human baby sacrifice thing stopped. And she went on this, I'm going to shorten the story, but went to the underworld, saw every single horrible, horrific aspect of humanity, and then came back out from the underworld and was just this ragged sack of bones. And she wanted to kill herself, which is when the Bodhisattva came, or whoever, Buddha of compassion, I forget how the story goes, and deemed her as the one to protect all humans, or all people on the path of light, to be the protectress. And what she does is she feeds off of our heavy energy. And so was one of the, I think one of the 6 things was her image was one of the 6 things that the Dalai Lama took when he had to flee Tibet because China was coming to get him. He took her image, which is, I think, is really super cool. So we've got this black. We're going to connect with both goddesses for this new moon, because I do believe they're both here. And so we're going to sort of start. And well, let's just start. Let's start with Kali. And what I want to invite us to do is, well, let's take a couple deep breaths and just close our eyes. So just breathe in, come into your body. Breathe out, let your exhale start to be this opportunity for release. You don't have to know what it is. Just let your exhale be whatever's in your field that you're ready to release. And a couple more breaths just like that. Breathing in and exhale. Let that be just the opportunity to let go. Breathing in and breathing out. And as you come into your body, come present. This is a really special gathering. I want to invite you to consider there's going to be about 30 or 40 women who will gather over time and space. There's just the right number of us in the 3D world right now gathered, but we're all going to come together and realize that we're on this path of remembering together. And that's really special. That's a life-changing choice to sign up for something and show up as we can. So connecting with all these women, these souls that are like vibrational, and then inviting this goddess Kali. So Kali is known to feed off the heaviness that we carry. Her whole purpose after her human journey, when she went into this sort of goddess state, is to be the one that hungers for our heaviness. And there's plenty of heaviness literally in the air, depending on where you live, and in the world, and we can kind of just feel it in our field. So what we're going to do now is just invite this goddess in, invite this goddess to bring herself right in front of you. So we each have this energetic field, this aura, and you can connect to your aura, to your field. And then you can also just invite her to come, and maybe she's sitting right in front of you, standing in front of you, hovering above you, just coming to meet you. And notice how beautiful she is in this, but you can feel her energy is amazing. And she's wanting you to give her whatever you're ready to let go of. So as we breathe now, we're going to be breathing with our physical body breath. We're also going to be sort of changing it into a metaphor of energetic breath. So breathe in, imagine just breathing in fresh air, fresh energy, light. And as you breathe out with your breath, and you can just send in your field, any heaviness, send it to Kali, and she's almost magnetizing it out of your field. And so as this heaviness leaves, there's more space for light. Breathe it in. Breathe in light. Take in light into your field. And as you exhale with your breath and just with your energetic field, send any heaviness. And this is just going to be about a 10 or 12 breath process. And notice how you can kind of start to feel yourself lighten up. Take in fresh energy every time. New light, more light. And then exhale, send whatever you're wanting to release. Breathe in, more light. Breathe out. Any heaviness, send that to Goddess Kali. A few more times, just like that. Breathing in. Let yourself lighten up. Breathe out. Send heaviness away. Breathing in. Lightening up and breathing out. One more time. Breathing in. And breathing out. And so this goddess is in front of you still. Thank her. Maybe take a moment, just place your hand on your heart and send gratitude for her presence. She's always here, especially as we're living in a lifetime of transformation, that she's here to serve. She's always near us. And whenever we need to shift some of the heaviness that we're carrying, whether it's ours or just something that we've taken on, we've witnessed, whatever it is, it doesn't matter, that if we feel it in our field, we are transformational beings. She is here to support us in remembering that. All right, so I'm going to stop the share. Still sort of holding that sacred space. I want to invite us next to invite Goddess Lilith. And this is the image that I used for the podcast. I'm going to pull up this image. And this is just an interpretation of this goddess, but I thought this was pretty cool. Lilith, way beyond race, of course. Lilith's been with us this whole time too. And Lilith, as I mentioned, is this primordial, she has within her the seed energy of magic, of the magic that she is. So let's invite her next. Notice how you experience her. It's said in astrology that some people consider her an asteroid. You can find a lot of writing about that. She's also just considered this point in space behind the moon that never gets light. And so I like to invite, you can imagine behind the new moon. The new moon is dark anyhow in the sky this evening. But behind that dark moon, there's a dark point in space that never sees the light, that might imagine her coming the dark moon from behind the moon. She's traveling across time and space to meet you. And so you've got your field now. Notice how with Goddess Kali, we do hopefully feel a little bit lighter. So Lilith is coming to meet you now. And Lilith is, once again, notice how you see her. There's no right or wrong way of seeing her. I often see sort of the darker hues of, like a deep green or a deep or a deep red or a deep velvet, the dark hues. So invite her to just sort of come to you. And as we're seeding with this new moon, we're seeding not only for this lunar cycle of about 4 weeks, but really through the end of 2020. And notice if there's just a feeling that you want to have more of. As we're vibrational beings, first we vibrate, then we attract it. So the most potent thing that we could potentially consider new moons, it's like, as I said, I want to purchase land for the retreat, something very concrete. You can think concrete right now, but maybe even just a vibration. You want to feel safe, abundant, loving, transformational. I don't know what words might come, or just a feeling. And maybe there is an image of something you really want to share with Lilith, goddess who knows everything's possible. And everything in the universe doesn't come from another person. It comes from nowhere. And we vibrate, we attract it out of nowhere. So we get to kind of just close your eyes and see if you can share with her. And we all get to hold space for each other across time and space. How you want to feel. How you want, oh, I hope my internet connection's okay. Okay, how you want the world and your world to feel. Wonderful. So she's taking this in and she's showing you that's possible. And now maybe the only thing that us humans we like tasks, we're programmed potentially, whether or not it's optimal, to want to do things. The only thing we really need to do with this new moon might be to feel this way, to choose to carve some time out every day is kind of what she's inviting, in a meditation space with your journal while you're on a walk, to choose to feel how you want to feel now and what you want to share forever, because you can choose. So just Kali wants us to know, actually available 2020. So whenever you need a reminder of the magic that's always available and the magic that you are, she is here to remind us of that, and she will be able to be accessed by you. All right. So check in with your field right now and notice how you feel. Notice if there's anything that has shifted. And I want to invite us to kind of be able to, moving beyond, I mentioned this whole new moon and the close of 2020 is we're going to be able to move beyond these boundaries that we think we have to keep. And even, in our metaphysical, spiritual practices, we've been taught about this boundary of like, okay, cast a circle and then shut it down. And okay, well, get into sacred space and then shut it down. So we've just created this really beautiful experience for ourselves and for all the 30 to 40 women. I want to invite us to consider that we don't have to shut it down, that we can create it and then let it be this beautiful thing that we get to keep stepping into. So I think maybe we can consider that we can shift gears a little bit. And I want to invite us to, if anybody wants to share, we'll get a little opportunity to share here in a moment. But beyond those, beyond the boundaries of even this course, as I mentioned, this is going to be the first gathering while all the goddesses are going to get the same video and going to be joining across time and space. But also this month I was guided to, because many people have mentioned to me, you know, gosh, my crazy, I didn't get to all the material. And I really wanted to say the material is just a tool. You don't ever have to get to all the material, and maybe you just choose some parts of some of the modules that call to you. It's just an opportunity and an offering. The journey, I believe, is in the lunar cycle for us right now, and I really wanted to invite us to, so we're going to meet every week. So we're going to have, I chose the day, we're going to meet Sundays at 10 a.m. for, not this Sunday, because it's already Thursday, but the following Sunday, we're going to meet and we're going to be able to share, because the moon is this beautiful cycle. And we as women are the embodiment of this cycle with our menses, with all the things that the goddess course covers. That's the most obvious physical 3D one. But I want us to be able to gather a few times throughout this cycle so that it really, the point of the course is the magic that we are. So just to kind of give a background, that we're going to have the opportunity to come together in sacred space multiple times in this month. So I wanted to, with that in mind, see if there's anything anybody wants to share about this cycle, what you want to create and what you want to transform. And you don't have to share, but I want to just give us a moment to see if anybody wants to share.
Hi, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, hi.
How are you? Nice to meet you. I'm Melissa.
Good.
I just signed up.
Hi, Melissa.
So I'm sneaking away
Welcome.
from my work really quick because I have a meeting in like 5 minutes. But I just wanted to say that I'm feeling very intensely the need to release what's not working and really question what's right for my soul path. And I'm just feeling the lunar cycles very deeply over the past year or so, and connecting with that and trying to release all resistance there.
Okay, good. So, thank you for sharing. I think that that is a theme that many of us can, or I think there's a general theme in the air that we can all sense. And so that's one of the things that came through, or Spirit said to me, and whenever you need to go, Melissa, I know another person already said that you guys are trying to join from work, which is fantastic. I know I made this at a weird time. But the, you know, so the getting on our life path, we're all feeling the call right now. It's like a big, you know, if you're reading energetic signs, there's some big road signs that are showing us like it's time, you know, and then our linear mind is kind of trying to shuffle us over in this old way. And that's the powerful thing about this lunar cycle. And I love that you shared that and you found this right at the start. It's almost like we're going to be these new moons, these 3 new moons, and then the total eclipse it's almost like it's going to be like so the eclipse is a portal, but it's like a little like water slide. We're going to come out the chute and like be like able to that. So thank you for sharing that. um yeah, anybody else have anything they want to share? Oh, you're welcome, Melissa. Okay, well, I'm going to go and I'm going to speak for myself. Um, and maybe this is a theme. This is often the case. There's themes. You know, I can personally, and as we all kind of step on the journey of sensing energy and becoming energetically sensitive, which I talk a lot about how that is a very good thing. We want to be able to feel energy. There's a lot to feel in the world right now, and some of it doesn't feel that great. So I want to set the intention for all of us that we can stay, for me and for anybody else who wants to have this intention, that we can stay super energetically sensitive and super high vibrational. And that is a big challenge right now because there's a lot. It's almost like we've been in like this weight training, and then the coach just came and like dumped another 100 pounds on the dumbbells. It's a poor analogy, but I think you know what I'm saying, where we can do it. I believe that we can do this, but that was the kind of the conscious vibration that I think Lilith is so cool to remind us of. Okay, even if I'm sitting at my desk at work and I don't know if this is what I'm supposed to be doing next year, I'm going to take some time to just, how do I want to feel? How do I, even if I'm stuck inside and the air is awful because I'm in the Northern California fires, as was the case for me. I wasn't stuck inside. I went outside and I walked my dog. But there was the heaviness was in the air. How do I want to feel? And so that was one of the things that I really wanted to seed this new moon, is to let myself be super sensitive and realize that that's a gift. Remind myself that's a gift. And also to up my ability to choose how I want to feel, because, and also to, read the road signs if there's anything that's coming through about where my life path should go. Um, that too. And, when I think about how I want to feel, one of the major things that happened for me the last week was enough. There's enough time, there's enough money, there's enough people, there's enough food, there's enough shelter, there's enough, joy, enough. And I think that's one of the things that is up for upgrade in our collective. We've been programmed to always need to get more. More time. There's not enough time and there's not enough money. Those are the two things that I think probably are most relevant for everybody. And their time is a construct, as we come to experience in metaphysics. It happens in packets, not linear time often. And money is one form of prana. And and we can attract that to us if we need, but as we all know, some of the best miracles and the most full are beyond money, but they also have a symbolism in money. So there's enough. And so I really kind of found myself just kind of, when I was meeting with Lilith, it's almost like I got to sit back in this easy chair or just, in this hammock and just fully relax. And there didn't have to be a striving to be super spiritual or striving to be bright, and we can have that intention. But the thing that I think maybe I'm getting at is the ease and the magic and the grace and just the embodiment of it. So that was my intention, and I offer it for everybody. That's my intention for all of you too. But thank you for holding space for me, for sharing that. All right. Anybody else have anything else they want to share or seed? I know a lot of people mention that they do their own private rituals when they watch these videos. So you might just take a second to remember what it is, how you want to feel. So let's spend a moment here, just as we head towards close, choosing to feel that way. And just breathe in that feeling because you choose it. All right. So as I mentioned, all of this is totally voluntary, but the next Sundays at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Let me pull up my calendar and just give you the date real quick. The first one, I'll email everybody later on today or tomorrow as well. So that's going to be Sunday the 27th is going to be our next gathering. And then October 4th and then October 11th. So we're going to have 3 Sundays where we're going to gather if you want to and just kind of see what comes up for this lunar cycle and really simply calling on all the magic that's, you know, very simple is profound and powerful. So we're going to access Luna and really seed the transformation that we know is coming and is necessary and is oh so exciting. So thank you guys for joining and for holding space with me and for each other. I'm blessed to just connect with each and every one of you. So cheers to a new moon, a beautiful, blessed new moon. And I'll look forward to seeing you in just a little bit over a week if you happen to want to join. All right. Look forward to Sunday. Thank you again. Cheers. Yeah, I look forward to Sunday as well. See you guys in a little bit of time. Tons of love.